Hi there, I'm Eddie. Thanks for practicing yoga with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give my video a thumbs up. Thank you. Welcome one and all. Thank you so much for coming to yoga today. We got Sunday morning here, gonna have a lovely class. And if you happen to be new, my name is Eddie. Welcome. I think I know most of you on this call, but I'm happy that you're here. And let's have a nice time. It always goes to say that you just get to go at your own pace. So if something is too much for you, pull it back. If it's not enough, push on the gas a little bit more. If you've got an injury, watch out for it. So please just take care of yourself. What I was thinking about as kind of a theme for our class today was just appreciation for the breath, appreciation for the fact that we get to take a conscious breath and the impact that even one conscious deep breath can have on our mind, can have on our body, the impact that it can have on our practice, the way it can facilitate the way we move. There's so much that our breath gives us. And so I thought, let's really just focus on appreciating the breath today. Maybe we'll do a little bit of breath work beyond just the physical yoga postures. We'll incorporate a little bit of breath work into them and maybe do some separate breath work. Breath is something that's both voluntary and involuntary, meaning that involuntary breath is what we do all day long. We don't think about the fact that we're breathing all night long, we're sleeping. You don't think about the fact that you're breathing. But yoga is about voluntary breathing. It's about deciding how you want your breath to be and manipulating it, manually controlling it, and turning it into the breath that you want to have. So it's not out of your control, it's in your control when you decide. And there's lots of ways that we deepen the breath. Of course, I always talk about the Ujjayi breath. We're going to get started right now. The easiest way to learn it is always imagine you're fogging up a mirror. By making that sound, you're slowing the breath down. When you're good at it, you can do it with your mouth closed. The placement is at the same spot in your throat. You can really start to stretch your breath the same way you would stretch your muscles. And when it comes to the pranayama exercises or the breath control exercises, you want to be able to stretch your breath. Let's get started right now. We're going to tune in. We're going to do a couple of gentle warm-ups, and then we're going to take just a couple of minutes to appreciate our breath in a very simple pranayama or breath control exercise. Let's do it together. Let's do it as a group, and let's each lift the other up. Here we go. Hands together at your heart. Take a slow, deep breath in. Hold it in for just a moment, and you can practice, of course. You can open your mouth or do it out through your nose, exhaling. And again, inhale slowly. Hold it in. And exhale it out, nose or mouth. Trying to control, stretch the breath in. Hold it in. And exhale your breath out. Okay, let's chant some ohms. Take a breath in. Om. Do it again. Inhale. Om. And one more time. Inhale. Om. Okay, beautiful. Let's do a really simple warm up from where you are. I want you to take your hands and walk them forward in front of you. Now just go as far as you can go and start to stretch out your lower back and stretch out your hips a little bit. Relax your head. You can reach your arms. You can really stretch them forward. You can pull them back a little bit, whatever feels best in your body. But here's where you immediately start to come into the idea of voluntary or controlled breath. You are deciding the length of your breath. You're deciding the sound quality of your breath. And the real art is not making that ujjayi sound on the exhale. It's making it on the inhale. to hear that whispery, foggy sound as you breathe in. Don't worry if you don't have it yet, but you are looking for it ultimately. Take a breath where you are. Exhale, walk your hands over towards your right. Walk your hands to your right. Let your head go. Just hang between your arms. You really can't talk about stretching. You can't talk about your optimal stretch or your maximum stretch without considering the way that your breath impacts it. So right now, feel what's going on in your body. Your left lung is very, very stretched and open. Your right lung is very compressed. So it's natural that as you bring your deep breath in, it's going to fan your ribs on your left side. It's going to facilitate the stretch on the left side, not the right side. Now from here, I want you to take your left hand, reach it all the way up to the ceiling. Just roll yourself open, maybe look up, maybe look down. Whatever feels good is fine. Yes, just pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. Take one more, and then come on, right around through the center. Let's go to the opposite side. Just walk yourself over. You're going to walk over to your left side. And again, now it's the right lung that's going to be really open and the left lung that's shut down. You let your consciousness kind of follow the movement of your breath, sculpting and shaping, just like you were working with clay. Very good. I'm going to have you keep your left hand down. You're going to take your right hand, go up. I'm going to look up perhaps, but you could look down. I'm going to reach my arm way back, so I've got that nice kind of twisting element there. Lungs are more even now. Very, very good. Come on all the way up. Let's take just a gentle twist. It doesn't matter which way you go. You're going to twist to both sides, so just turn back to one side or the other and switch it to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to take you through one of my favorite, very, very simple pranayama exercises. Again, this is going to be all about controlling voluntary, manipulated, self-determined breathing. We're going to create a pattern. So just join me for a minute or two. You're going to sit up tall. You're going to join your thumb and your first finger. Eyes are going to close. Now we're going to take our slowest deep breath in and out. You can breathe out through your nose or your mouth. Let's do that. So we're going to go slow, deep breath in. You want to feel the awareness rise. Slow, deep breath out, nose or mouth, and you feel it fall back down. I always say, imagine your spine as a drinking straw. Inhale up the straw, into your brain, exhale out, and the liquid goes right down the straw, back down to the tailbone. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale up, exhale out. It's slow, it's controlled, it feels like a slow rolling wave. Inhale, the wave rises. Exhale, the wave falls. Feel the deflation in your body. Good. Inhale, the balloon fills, it rises. Exhale, it falls. Okay, so your breath is balanced now. Let's just manipulate it a little bit. Inhale deeply. Hold it in on top for just a moment. Give yourself the gentlest of squeeze through your body so that you're rising up. And now exhale, let that go. It just falls, falls, falls right back down through the spine, down to the ground. Inhale slowly. Hold it in. Exhale it out. This is a 3-part breath. Part 1, inhale. Hold it in, that's part 2. Exhale, part 3. One more like this. Inhale slowly. Hold it. Exhale it out. Okay, now we're going to turn it into a 4-part breath. Stay with me. Part 1, inhale. Hold it, part 2. Exhale, part 3. And sit empty, part 4. Just be empty for a moment. Let yourself deflate. Inhale 1. Hold 2. You're inflated now. You're really stretched. Exhale 3. Maintain your posture, but let your breath out. Pause. Be empty for 4. Empty, empty. Good. 2 more rounds. Inhale 1. Hold as 2. Exhale 3. Empty 4. Inhale 1, last round. Hold as 2. Exhale 3. Empty 4. Good. Breathe in and out, no pause. Inhale slowly. Exhale completely. One more time. Inhale slowly. And exhale completely. And let yourself relax. Now, if you really give yourself to that, you can feel almost in 3-4 minutes like you've done a whole class. Like you can really, really shift your focus. You can shift your energy. All right? But we haven't done a whole class. And I'd be remiss if I didn't make you open your eyes and stand up and start to stretch. So inhale, open your eyes, stretch out your legs, but just notice, like take that with you. Take that appreciation for the breath with you right now. Because it's really, really a lovely thing to be able to breathe like that, to be conscious and deliberate about your breath. Now let's do it in a half sun salutation. You know, it's one of my favorite. You can face forward. I'm facing towards the camera. Hands start at your heart. Maybe we bend our knees. Inhale, the arms come up. We're just going to move with the breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale and open. Exhale and fold it down. Arms out, chest up. Hands at your heart. Exhale. Imagine a raft sitting on water. Inhale. The raft is going to rise when the water swells. Exhale. It's going to go down. That raft has no propulsion of its own. Inhale. The movement of the water is propelling the raft up and down and moving it. Sweep your arms out. Come up. And that's how you want to feel about your body in relation to your breath. It's really the breath that is propelling the movement. Exhale down. Just a little shift in consciousness can get you there. Inhale, open. Exhale, fold. You got to have that flow underneath what you're doing. Inhale up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's do the last one, please. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold it down. All the way down you go. Look to the front and inhale. And now hang in your forward bend of choice. Maybe if you want to be lighter or if you feel congested, maybe you're going to bend your knees and place your elbows on your knees. Maybe you're going to dangle or hold your ankles or grab your big toes, or
Even reach your arms together up off your back, interlaced behind you. A lot of options. Hmm. You get into a static posture like this forward bend, Uttanasana, and I really want you to make it more about the movement of your breath through the shape than trying to accomplish something with the shape. Just explore the feeling of breath, energy, life force, awareness moving through you. Let's take one more. We're going to sweep those arms out, lift that chest, come on all the way up to the top. That was really good. Okay, bring your hands down by your side. Let your fingers point towards the floor. If you got lightheaded there, squeeze your butt a little bit, squeeze your legs. It'll just take a second. And your blood pressure will adjust and you'll feel fine once again. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, go ahead and bend your knees, touch the floor. Let's stay like this for just a moment. Take a couple breaths, just like a downhill skier when you're really trying to pick up that speed and you go down into a little crouch. Hang out right there. And then inhale. Only the arms are going to come up above you. Good. What I'm going to do is start to break down a classical sun salutation. So please really listen to the legs as I call them out, the movements. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. So the first one, what we're going to do is look to the front. Our right foot stays where it is. Our left foot's going to go back. You're going to drop that left knee and inhale your hands up for about 3 breaths. Now, this is a great place to really stretch deeply into that lunge. Top of your thigh, control of your breath. Notice that your right foot is currently the foot that's forward. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, put your hands down. Step yourself back to downward dog. It's our first time. We're breaking the sequence down, so let's hold it for a couple breaths. Feel free to move. As you kind of dance and move a little bit in these poses, you're going to feel the places that you're tight. You're going to feel where your breath can really have the greatest impact, moving your consciousness and the sound of your breath into these tighter zones. Inhale, let's get forward into our plank pose. Now we can modify it by dropping the knees, or you could hover and do chaturanga up dog. So I'll drop the knees for the modification to the floor. Gentle back bend is cobra. It's your choice. And exhale, we're going to go back. Okay, now if you remember when we did our lunge, I told you to pay attention. Your right foot was forward, which means now the left foot will come forward. Step it up, drop your back knee onto the ground, and let's just take a moment here. We'll wait for you all to get into the lunge, however long it takes. Again, if you'll go back to this idea that you're not trying to manipulate or do something with the body as much as you're trying to really facilitate the expansion with your breath. Be a raft that sits on the ocean. Feel the swells underneath you rising and falling, lifting and lowering. Now, when we come out of it, it's a little different. You touch the ground and your back foot steps forward. So it was like a circle. Inhale, we're going to open halfway. Exhale, you're going to fold down to your legs. That wasn't too bad, was it? Inhale, sweep your arms out, come on all the way up. Very circular. Exhale, let's release our hands down. So how about we do the same thing now, but we do a different style of lunge. Inhale, take your hands, come on up to the ceiling. Exhale, you're going to fold. Look to the front. Keep that right foot where it is. We're going to take the left foot, step it back. Now, you could put your knee on the ground, or you could bring yourself all the way up into the high lunge. It doesn't matter. Hands could be to the ceiling, hands could be at the heart. Good. So let's just hold it for a couple breaths. Maybe you sink a little bit more. I'm going to keep playing with this. So each time you're going to have a new variation in it. Take a good deep breath in. Exhale, touch down. Remember, your right foot is currently forward. Downward facing dog. Hold it for a breath or two. Remember, today is all about appreciating the breath. So we're going a little bit slower and really having that breath awareness in our poses. Inhale, come forward to your plank pose. Now, do you want to drop your knees? Do you want to lower to the floor? Do you want to hover? Which back bend are you going to take? Deep back bend, gentle back bend. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Previously, your right foot was forward, left foot now is going to come to the front. Step it up, take your time to get there, and then try and balance with me. Hands up. Maybe hands at the heart, whatever works. Voluntary breathing. That means you choose it, you stretch it, you shape it, you control it. One more. Inhale. Exhale, touch the ground, step forward. So complete the circle. Look forward, open halfway. Exhale, fold. Sweep out, come on all the way up. Release your hands down. Okay, now I don't want you to get confused, so listen to this. Previously, I had you keep your right foot forward. Now we're going to switch. Your left foot will stay forward first. Just follow along with me. You'll be just fine. Listen to this as I do it. Inhale, take your hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Look to the front. Leave your left foot where it is. Take your right foot back. Now, before we move on, I'm going to say that one more time. Everybody, is your left foot the front foot? Left foot is the front foot. Inhale, take your hands, come on up to the ceiling. Now, here's the variation that I'm going to do right now. It's in my back leg. I'm going to take the back leg and bend it. Give it a little bend. That's going to make it more challenging. Bend the knee. And what it also does is it gives me freedom to move my pelvis. You see that? So I want to take that tailbone, really, really tuck it under. I've got a bent back knee. My tail is really tucking under. I can potentially add a little bit more upper back bend. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to slowly straighten, push the heel back. Take one more inhale. Exhale, touch down, downward facing dog. So remember, your left foot was forward a moment ago. Now it's time for our push-up cycle, if we're going to do it. Again, maybe drop your knees. What do you like? Back bend, downward dog. So now it has to be the right foot that comes forward. Right foot steps to the top of your mat. This isn't a particularly fast cycle. This is a more deliberate cycle where we're really trying to feel how our breath plays into what we're doing. Good. I want you to take the back knee and bend it. Tuck the tail under. Feel that freedom as soon as the knee is bent. Feel the freedom that you have to move your pelvis back and forth. Tuck the tail under. Add a little bit of a back bend. Begin straightening the back leg again. Keep the tail under. It's going to be more stretch. Complete the circle. Touch down. Step forward. Open. All the way down. Sweep your arms out. Come on all the way up to the very top. Good, so now we'll change it just a little bit more. We're going to do the same thing, keeping the left foot forward first, but we're going to add some twisting fun into it. Here we go. Inhale, reach your hands up above you. Exhale down. Fold on the breath. Inhale. Keep your left foot where it is. Take your right foot back. Before we move on, I'm going to say it again. Is your left foot the front foot? Left foot is forward. Inhale, your hands are coming up. Take your right hand forward like you're going to shake someone's hand. Take your left hand, reach it back towards the wall behind you. So you're really trying to open across your chest. Sink it, tuck it. So this is the first part of our twist. Now, your left hand could sit on your hip, or your left hand could go to your right leg. Right hand is going to lift up, And we're going to get a little bit of back bend if you can. Okay? Breathe with all this. Now, maybe you're going to prayer twist. That would be right elbow to your left knee. You all know these general moves. Or maybe your right hand is going to come down on the ground. That's the lighter variation. Either one is good. Okay, put your hand down. Remember, your left foot started. Take it back. Do the push-up cycle of your choice. Inhale forward, exhale down. Maybe it's a gentle back bend today. Downward dog. What foot has to come forward? If you said right foot, you were correct. Make sure your right foot is correct, everybody. Right foot is forward. Inhale, bring your hands up above you. Find the breath. You know, it's so important. It happens all the time. I see it with people. They start struggling with postures and they forget to breathe. Take a moment. Find your breath. Don't move without your breath. Take your left arm forward. Take your right arm back. Start to spread it across your chest, but breathe while you do it. Let the inhale expand. Let the inhale widen you. Now maybe your right hand sits on your right hip. Maybe your right hand comes to your left leg. Take your left hand, lift it all the way up. Turn, extend. Good. Now, what you're going to do, take your left elbow down into a prayer, or you're going to put your left hand on the ground. I'm going to put my hand on the ground today. Take my right hand up. Very nice. Let's bring ourselves down out of it. Take your back foot, step it to the front of your mat. Open yourself halfway. Fold down. Inhale up to the top. Exhale. Release. Take a moment, shake out your legs. So that was a really nice cycle of classical sun salutations with variation, done with a very, very deliberate breath. So stand up tall, give me mountain pose for just a moment. Feel your posture, give me your best posture. Close your eyes, look inside of yourself, and feel the way your breath plays with your physical structure. Do you feel energy moving through you? Do you feel waves moving through you? Do you feel tingling as you breathe in and out? If you feel tingling, does the tingle of the inhale feel different from the tingle of the exhale? Or the wave of the inhale, does it differ from the wave of the exhale? Start to understand how the breath is impacting you physically, mentally, energetically. It is the tool of yoga. It's the primary tool. People don't really understand that so much. Breath has really been lost in the practice, I think. Breath is at the heart of what we're doing. Let's step our feet together here. I'm going to step off my mat only because it's easier for me to balance on a wood floor than it is for me to balance on double mats. I have two mats stacked up. So if you want to step off onto a harder surface, go ahead and do it. So I'm facing you. What I want you to do is take your right leg, bring it up. Now you could stand on your big toe. You could put your foot on your calf. You could put your foot against your inner thigh. And inhale, we're going to take the hands and come all the way up to the ceiling. Holding it right here. Now we're just hanging for a moment. There's the wobble of the posture. Focus in the eyes. Now, can you relax your shoulders? I felt mine were bound. Can you relax a little bit? Three more. Good. Exhale, bring your hands down, bring your foot down. Your eyes have to lock. It's called a drishti or a gaze. You have to have a visual focal point in order to balance. Go ahead and bring your
left leg up to a place where you can handle it. But you're looking at that focal point. You're not trying to analyze it. Like I'm looking at an AirPod case right now, a white AirPod case for my headphones. I'm not trying to analyze it. It's just a general point that I'm locking onto. My greater focus is on the sound of my breathing. So I'm holding myself steady with my physical or with my visual gaze. I'm kind of aware of the peripheral field in my vision, but it's very blurred. It's not defined at all. I'm not trying to see right now. I'm just trying to hold myself steady with my visual gaze while about 75% of my attention is on my breath. Again, is it a tingle? Is it a wave? Take one more inhale and exhale. Bring your hands down. Okay, that was good. Let's bring our hands together at the top of our hands together at our heart. We'll be standing at the top of our mat. Let's inhale and just take your hands, go all the way up above you. Exhale, fold down. Now we'll come through a more traditional sun salutation. Look to the front, gently step or jump yourself back. Maybe you're gonna lower, maybe you hover, maybe you do 3 push-ups, I don't know. Do what works for you. Exhale it back. I'd like to do a side plank, and I'd like to take that side plank into reverse side plank. So this is how we're going to do it. Let's do the left side first because I can demonstrate it. I have more space on the left side. So come on forward. Those of you that are going to modify, put your left knee on the ground, right foot spins flat, right hand up. Okay? So if you're in full side plank, you're on your left hand and your left foot. Modified, you've got your left knee down on the ground. Okay? We're holding that. It's pretty good, either version. So take the top foot, the top leg, step it back behind you. Step that right foot back behind you. Lift, open the chest, and try and reach the top arm over your ear. It may go, it may not. That may be too much. Maybe you're in child's pose, or maybe you're looking up and adding a back bend. Graceful form. Lots of breath support. Very good. Come on through the center. If you want to do your push-up cycle in between, go ahead and do your push-up cycle in between. We're rolling into side plank on side 2. I'll do the same thing. I'll modify first so you can see it. Right knee is down, right hand is down, left hand is up. That's my nice support here. Really good. Some of us are going to go a little bit further, stretching both legs straight, balancing there. And some of us are going to move on by taking the top foot back behind, reaching the arm overhead. Oh, so good. Take one more inhale and come on back through the center. Now, again, you might want to do a push-up cycle. You might want to hang out in downward facing dog. Let's do this. Take your right foot only, step it forward. Now, once again, you're going to start in the lunge. You did it earlier. You may want to have your blocks nearby. Let's take the back knee. Not only drop it to the ground, but scoot it back just a little bit. Again, maybe put your hands on blocks. Lift your heart up. Exhale, pull back to a hamstring stretch. You're going to hold this for about 5 or 6 slow breaths here. Those of you that need a little bit more intensity, just kind of go more towards the splits with your legs. Otherwise, just kind of this runner's stretch is good. Lengthening your spine and breathing. Now you can also create a sense of directionality with your breath. In this pose, I start with my attention in my heel. My inhale starts in my right heel. And as I inhale, it pulls back along my leg, up the calf, up the hamstring, to my tailbone. As I exhale, it comes forward, up through my spine, through my head and my neck and my head. And I kind of bow the head down. Try that 2 or 3 more times if you like, creating a circular pattern.
Inhale goes from the heel to the tail. Exhale goes from the tail out the head with a bow. Okay, exhale. That works for me. So you've got to find the patterns of energy that work in your body. Go ahead and take your right foot, walk it out towards the right side of your mat a little bit. I have my foot turned out, if you can see it. My heel is on the mat. My right foot is on the floor outside the mat. Now, we might want to take our blocks. If we're feeling a little tighter, we'll put our elbows down on blocks. So that's quite high. I've put 2 blocks down. That's nice and mellow in the hip. Some of you might put your arms on the ground, hands on the ground for even more height. Just find a place where you can mellow out for a moment. Good. So again, this is just my personal experience, but as I'm holding the pose right now, what I'm experiencing energetically is both kind of this awareness is blossoming in my hip. It's kind of has like a sunrise quality to it. There's yellows, there's like peaches, there's reds that I kind of see blossoming in my mind's eye through my hip. Now, that might not be the same for you, but that's how I can kind of visualize energy. It's this like blossoming of sunrise colors through the area where I feel most tight. And that works for me. Take one more. Good. And then slowly go ahead and release that. Take your right leg back. Let's do the second side. So we're going to take the left foot. We'll step it forward into the lunge. Get your left foot forward. Put your fingertips on the ground. Maybe put your fingertips on blocks. Exhale. Pull back. But as you're going through this and you're trying to observe your breath and facilitate your breath in your body, I want to say that I'm not trying to see sunset colors or sunrise colors. I'm not trying to manipulate the breath in a certain orbit. I'm observing kind of what I feel, what I experience, what I see, and then enhancing it by focusing on it. So you do the same for you. How do you experience breath in your body? And then go ahead and bend your left knee. Walk your left foot over a little bit. I'm going to do that same thing where I'm going to kind of take my left leg and I'm going to bring the heel onto the mat and I'm going to turn the toes gently off the mat. Again, I'm going to use height here. I'm going to get my blocks under my elbows. You might want to go deeper or you may want to put your hands on the ground for less intensity. And then you're going to start to just explore how you feel the breath and the body and the energy all interacting. Very good. Slowly, let's slowly bring ourselves up and out of this. We'll stay in our hips for a moment longer. Come onto your hands and your knees. Do a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, chest up, tail up. Exhale, round your back. Now just do that as serpentine as you possibly can. Inhale. Think of the way a snake moves, the way it slithers, the way it coils.
And though we don't have that same degree of flexibility, just kind of imagine that your spine is like a snake. Do it a few times. Close your eyes. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Just it's your exploration. So we're going to do a pigeon pose. We can do a straight forward pigeon pose, right knee to right wrist. We can do pigeon on our back, right ankle on the left knee. You could do a seated double pigeon if that was your preference. So right knee forward if we're going to do it. Spin the leg out. Come on down. Good. Maybe your head's on the ground. Maybe you're making a pillow with your arms. Maybe you're propped up on your hands. Maybe you're on your back. How are you experiencing the relationship between your breath and your body and your mind, the sound of your breath moving through it all? If you're on your back, just stay on your back. If you're on your stomach and you're happy there, stay there. If you want to go for your quadricep of your left leg, you want to get those muscles, go ahead and bend the left knee. Either take your left hand back or even take your right hand back. Start to work your elbows down or your left elbow down. That would be really deep if you can do it. Squeeze it, pull it in. Good. Can you imagine the striation of the muscle fibers? Little networks, like the fiber optic wires maybe in the phone or the internet line, and the breath flowing through it like the electricity through the wires. Come on back. There's so many ways, there's so many images. What works for you so that you start to feel the connection of breath and body. Left knee forward, right leg back. Or you're on your back and your left ankle's crossing your right knee. We'll take a couple more deep ones. If you feel blockage, maybe you can imagine like little pinholes of light poking through that area that's blocked. And as you breathe, those pinholes open up. Again, that's just an image that's working for me in my body right now. You find what works for you. And let's lift our chest up if we're going to do the quadricep. Take your right hand back. Maybe take your left hand back. I hope you can see that working with the energy, working with the breath is kind of a creative endeavor. There's no right or wrong. There's just the inner exploration. What do you feel? What do you see? What works for you? How do you facilitate movement? How do you facilitate kind of that inner flow? Take one more. And exhale. Slowly go ahead and release yourself down, everybody. Fall onto your left hip.
Let's just do our seated twist. Take your right leg around. Now we can either put the right foot inside the knee, that's going to be lighter, or we can put the foot outside the knee, and that's going to be deeper. And we'll twist. Let's look to the right. Maybe your elbow goes outside your knee. Take your time with this now. Don't crank too hard. I'm trying to get the spiral motion. Spiral motion of my spine, of course, it's only going to go so far. But the spiral motion of the energy, that's unlimited. So make sure that energy can get up into your brain. You got to feel it up in your brain stem. Don't get your neck too tight. You want that swirl to come all the way up. And let's go to the second side. So it would be simply taking the right knee, bending it down, putting the left foot either on the inside of the knee or putting the foot outside the leg. I failed to say on the first side that you could also keep your bottom leg straight if your knee doesn't like it. Take a twist, either elbow around or maybe elbow outside. Good. Another image that sometimes works for me is like a bow on a string, like a cello or something like that. And the horse hairs of that bow just kind of rubbing across that string, creating the vibration. As I breathe, I can kind of feel almost like I'm playing the strings within me. Slow, long breaths, slow, long pulls of the bow. Just another potential image that might work for you. Take a slow, deep breath in and exhale. Come on all the way back through the center. That was really good. We're going to finish our seated work here with a forward bend. So I'm going to pull the buns out. Legs are straight. You can take those arms, reach them all the way up above you, and exhale, fold forward. Now, maybe you want to strap, maybe you want to bend your knees a little or a lot. Maybe you're going to put a block in front of your feet and stretch yourself a little deeper into it. Good. All right, inhale, come on up. Now, I'm going to rock back and forth on my spine. If you want to join me, you're more than welcome to do that. Some of you may love doing headstands, in which case this would be the moment to come into your headstand. Otherwise, roll back and forth. And after a couple rounds, maybe you'll want to go into a shoulder stand, or maybe you'll want to simply stay on your back, and I'll show you some options. I'm going to stay on my back after a little bit of congestion. Going upside down isn't necessarily the most pleasant experience. So if you want, roll back into shoulder stand, do headstand. Or if you'd prefer to be on your back, what I'm going to offer you is this today. Stay on your back, bring the soles of your feet together, wrap your hands around your feet, and let's just pull the big toes towards the belly. We're going to hang out for a moment and just breathe there. So headstand, shoulder stand, or what I'm in is called Supta Baddha Konasana. So open those knees like butterfly wings, spread them apart. And we'll just hold this for about 30 seconds, wherever you are. And let's take one more breath. If you're in a headstand, you can start to come down. If you're in shoulder stand, you can start to come down. Everybody can move through, shoulder standers can move through plow pose, whatever you like. Everybody can start to bring their feet down onto the ground. Bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. Take your arms, reach them back behind you, and just take a couple breaths in and out for a moment. Knees are bent, arms are extended behind you. Good. Kind of notice the quality, notice the vibe, notice the inner state of being, notice the inner flow, notice the inner electricity, however you want to imagine it. Just kind of be in that space. We're going to go back to our very serpentine motion in our spine, trying to move your back like a slinky or like a snake. You're going to inhale, lift up through your hips, start at the top of your spine, and roll it down all the way to your tail. Inhale, hips go up. Exhale all the way down to your tail. Do it 2 more times like that. Inhale up. Exhale it down. One more time. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Rest for just a moment. Your arms will stay back behind you, but we're going to turn it into a 3-part breath. Most everyone knows this. It'll be inhale up, stay up, exhale. Hold your breath out as you roll down. Let's do it together so I can talk you through it. You're on the ground. Inhale, hips up. Stay up, open your mouth and breathe out. Stay up. Get all the breath out of you, all the breath out of you. When you're empty, hold your breath out and slowly roll down like a snake. Slowly roll down and feel the suction in your gut. Inhale, hips go up. Stay up, exhale. Hold your breath out, roll yourself down. Inhale up. Stay up and exhale. Hold it out, roll it down. And one more time, inhale. Stay up and exhale. Hold it out, roll it down. Good. Take your left leg, stretch it straight on the floor. Pull your right knee into your body with both hands. Squeeze it and twist. Drop your right knee down to the left. So ideally, our yoga practice, our breath practice, done properly, is going to produce an altered state of consciousness, meaning an alteration, a shift from the place that your mind normally resides in. Just like you drink a glass of wine or something and you feel very relaxed, it alters your consciousness. A practice should help us kind of alter our consciousness as well. See with a greater perspective. See from a higher perspective. Experience greater inner peace. Experience a state of relief. Experience a state of calming. Come on back through the center. Hug your left knee in, right leg is straight, and drop it down. And of course, we're going to go back out into the world. We're going to deal with our situations, whatever's going on in your life, and consciousness starts to shift back. But ideally, we can just show ourselves again and again and again and again that there is a place of greater freedom, place of greater peace, and that it's inside of us. Everybody, you have made it to your final relaxation. Come on back through the center. If you'd like to pull both of your knees in, go ahead and pull both of your knees in. If not, go ahead and relax, release. Now I'm going to ask you to acknowledge or determine the color that you see kind of most clearly inside right now. And really don't think about it, don't force it. It might be white, it might be a gold, it might be a peach or a pink or a red. Just kind of notice if your inner body was full of light, what color is it right now? There's no wrong choice. And as your breath goes in and out, I want you to imagine almost waves of that color moving through you. So you can see that color really manifesting in your feet, through your legs, through your shins, through your thighs. Feel it rolling out through your arms, your hands. Feel it moving through your chest, through your lungs, through your belly. Through your neck, again up into your brain stem, your brain, your skull, features of your face. And just merge yourself into a cocoon of light that surrounds you, just surrounded by that color. Let it soothe you, relax you, restore you, recharge you. Whatever it's doing, let it work its magic. I'm going to slowly take a breath in and out. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. I think everybody should feel quite refreshed. That was a really, really fun special class. I'll make a point of putting this one up on YouTube maybe next week. So go ahead and wiggle your fingers, toes, bring them in, pull your knees in, roll over, sit up, take your time. And come on up, hands together at your heart. Let's close with the mantra Om. Take a slow, deep breath in. Om. rub those hands, make them warm. Take your hands over you, hand down. Namaste.
Thanks for practicing with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up.